Caleb, have you ever seen a gallon jug of water like this before? A bottle that big?
No, never. This is all I got right here.
You drinking water over there? How many ounces is that?
I think it's 20 ounces of water. It's not a
Oh
lot.
man, you got to add 108 ounces to that. This is 128 ounces, which is a gallon of water. You get this thing, you set it next to your desk, and you become unstoppable.
You just have to drink it every day.
Yeah, drink it every day. Maybe get a crank of Himalayan salt in there. Get the hydration.
Yeah.
But you do got to get up and go to the bathroom a lot when you drink that much water.
Yeah, well, if you drink room temperature water, it won't be as bad.
Well, luckily that's what I'm doing. So I think some people are like, ice, no. But yeah, so let's get into it, Caleb. So what we're going to do here today, we're going to help a lot of people. You went from no experience to getting hired in tech sales. And I want to hear more about your journey because I think there's a lot of people out there who are sitting there thinking, you know what? I don't have experience. I don't have connections. I don't have a degree. Never had an internship. How do I get started? How do I change my life? How do I start making money? And I think that that's what's interesting about your story. So you tell it better than anyone. So why don't you set the stage with maybe where were you at 6-12 months ago? What was going on in your life? And what was that thought of, you know what? I want to change things.
Yeah. So, gosh, a year ago today, I've been going to college while I was working. I work full-time while I go to college full-time. So super busy schedule. And I never really had the time to think about where my life was really headed. I was just constantly working and learning in classes. I was managing a restaurant, a Chipotle. I was really dedicated to, well, actually, it's funny. I was managing a Chipotle, serving at Olive Garden as well, and going to school. So literally like no time, 60-hour week plus however many hours I was at school. And I was working super hard, and then I actually broke my foot, and I was out of school, out of work for like a month. And in that time, I'm just sitting there thinking, what am I doing with my life? I was studying political science, which I didn't really care about a whole lot, to be honest with you, but I was just doing it to go to college. I wasn't happy really with either job I was working. I enjoyed talking to people. I enjoyed managing a crew. I enjoyed the competition of like a sales-like experience as a server, but I didn't, I was like, what am I doing? I need to change my life. So that's when I found CourseCareers, but as you know, that was way back in May. So a very long time between May and November when I actually decided to take on the course. Because to be honest with you, I heard, hey, no experience, we train you, you'll get a job, you can make a lot of money, great career path. I mean, you could imagine most people hear that on the internet and say, they're going to take my money somehow. It's a scam. It's not real. It's too good to be true at best. The reality is they're inflating how much you can make. You think all those things. But after a few more months after I got back into workforce, after, my time off and everything, I don't know. It was only 450 for me. So I was like, take a chance, right? And that's how I got into CourseCareers, and I'm very happy that I ended up taking that leap.
So you were working at the Chipotle, you broke your foot, and you're probably like, you know what, I can't be wrapping these burritos as fast as I used to be able to. I'm sitting in college learning about political whatever. How is this going to help me make money? Right. And you happen to come across the information, hey, maybe there's an alternative, maybe there's a solution out there to get me in a path that has a desirable future ahead. But then you're like, you know what, do I want to pay money to learn this information? Maybe it's a scam. And it's interesting, and I applaud you for doing the work, because folks that are like, hey, I'm trying to get scammed out there, I think it's coming from maybe either like a scarcity mindset or like, hey, I'm just not willing to do the work, therefore there's no way this would work for anyone in the first place. But what I think super interesting about your story, Caleb, is you had things going for you. You were a leader of people. You were in university, heading down a path to get a degree. Did you finish college still, or did you go through CourseCareers and then you're like, you know what, I can go get a tech job within a month or two of this. Let me just get in that.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. But as you know, we still live in a world, especially in America, where college is kind of the assumption. Briefly aside, I have a lot of friends who are from Europe. Who in Europe, it's not normal at all for everyone to get a degree. You can become very successful over there without a college degree. So, but here, we just make it sound like, oh, you have to get a communications degree if you want a sales job or something like that. That's literally what my dad told me when I told him I was going to pursue this. I told him, hey, this is what I want to do, and he's like, if you want to work in sales, why don't you just switch majors? But yeah, so basically I ended up deciding I was very close to getting my associates. And I was like, okay, you know what? One more semester, I'll go ahead and get my associates. So that way, if things don't work out, or if I end up realizing I don't like tech sales, I save that, progress where it's at, and I can just keep doing it from there. But so far it has been panning out very well. So yeah, very happy about that.
I'm excited to hear about what very well means to you, because I think success is relative, money is relative, and everyone defines what they want their future to look like differently. As you think about what CourseCareers did for you, I think that this is a really important question to pose, because you were learning knowledge in college to an extent. Maybe not knowledge that was going to help you make money in the real world, but still you were learning how to learn, which is important, and you saw the value in that. But you also saw the value in, hey, can I go get specialized information online from people who have been there, done that, to expose you to a new world, which is tech sales. So can you talk about, once you got into CourseCareers, what was the information that you learned? What was your experience going through the program? And then how did that ultimately prepare you to get hired into the role you're in today?
Right. So first, there's kind of two parts to that question. One, what did I learn right off the bat that helped encourage me and helped me understand this is the right fit? And then two, what did I learn that helped me actually break into the career path? Is that a good analysis of your question?
Exactly right.
Okay. So one, they have a free introductory course. I watched it back when Troy made. I don't know if you redid all the introductory videos as well, but I watched Troy's recording. It's like an hour or two of videos where they just go over what the job is. And, once I learned that this is more of a question-based approach, more about work ethic, more about helping companies find solutions that help them, grow their bottom line, expand their business, maybe employ more people. It immediately changed my view of salespeople, because at first I don't want to be a salesperson. I don't want to be selling used cars type of thing. So
you got all the buzzwords down. You can talk. You already can talk the talk. You've already checked that box. You said everything. Hey, make more money, save money, mitigate risk. You've already said everything you need to do to sell software.
Yeah. But in terms of the course, man, I mean, obviously you have to put in the work yourself.
Yeah.
It's not like they just hand you a job, right? But I mean, yeah, first week I learned everything about the sales cycle. I learned how to talk to people who are, way above me in status in the world and doing great things, successful people. And it's self-paced, and the big thing actually is the books. The books helped even more than the course material in a lot of respects. I mean, spin selling and fanatical prospecting just gave me immediately the mindset needed, especially fanatical prospecting. And then how to win friends and influence people. I mean, it immediately helped my own life outside of, my career and everything. I went to work, I went to school while I was in this course, just with a better understanding of how people operate, what they want, how to interact with them. And then I'm hoping in a week when I start that I can apply all this knowledge to the job. But I'll tell you in the interview, I mean, the guy clearly knew, because he looked at my resume. He's like, you don't have any experience. And when I started talking to them, he immediately noticed that I kind of knew everything I was supposed to say. I understood how the sales cycle works. I understood this is a B2B sales job. And then he looked back at my resume and said, what is CourseCareers? I've seen other people have been hired from can you tell me that? Because then he started to assume, okay, this certificate program, or whatever he called it, it seems like it's a little bit more than I initially gave it credit for. So, I mean, immediately impressed people in the interview. Immediately, I knew it was right for me. And maybe it won't be right for other people, but it was right for me. And just understanding people.
What you just said there, Caleb, was profound, because that's the biggest hurdle folks who don't have experience or degrees or connections are up against is when a company is hiring for a sales development rep or an entry-level sales position, exactly where I started a few years ago. And believe me, I'm still in positions where I'm speaking with people 20 years older, making 5x the amount of income. I'm like, oh my gosh, like how am I in this room right now? But that's what you get. And it's there's different levels to it. So when you're in an interview setting and they say, well, hey, we're looking at 3 other people because everything you want, other people want as well. It's competitive. Right. So how do you stand out in the process? And when you're asked the question, Caleb, you don't have experience, what makes you different? It sounds like the information that you learned through CourseCareers helped differentiate you in the process and ended up impressing the interviewer enough to give you the job.
Yes, exactly.
How did you frame yourself? Because I want to double click on that because I think a lot of people are interested in that. I've interviewed people for my company. I work at a public software company, and one of the biggest reasons why people don't get hired or advance is because they don't actually know what they would be doing as a sales development rep or why they would even be a good fit for the position. But it sounds like you had a firm grasp of, hey, well, we'll be cold calling, we'll identify your ideal customer profile, buyer persona. So can you talk about how the information equipped you to separate yourself to get the job?
Yeah, so the first thing you should that is kind of important about this is these are entry-level jobs, and CourseCareers, the programs that you offer, they seem to target jobs that don't really need a college degree. Some of them just say they do to filter through applicants.
Yep.
So the point is they're not looking for me to be, senior account executive applying to this sales development role. They're not looking for me to know how to build a bridge. They're looking for me to know how to communicate well, and that I have work ethic and that I understand that this is about career growth. This is about growing as a person. That's what they're looking for. They're looking for hunger from you. And so I was able to combine the way I would frame myself is, look, I've always been a hard worker. I gave them the exact same rundown I gave you. But now I have more than just a raw work ethic. I can pair that with information that you as a company can build upon so that way we can have a symbiotic relationship. So the more you develop me, the more I put that development back into your company. And I think my work history has shown that I know how to work very, very hard. And now that I have the knowledge about this role, I'm really excited to apply it to X company. Beyond that, it was just about really doing my research into what these companies actually offer and finding companies that, when I communicated how much I wanted to work for them, it was genuine because I actually spoke to some people at the company. I did some research on their website. So all of that together, people don't realize how many applicants literally just click apply and then go to another website and click apply. So just that little bit of extra knowledge, which CourseCareers also helped with, was able to, I think, I didn't know the other candidates, but, especially once you get an interview and you can actually really talk to them, just totally set apart.
Being willing to do what others are not willing to do or are unable to do, it sounds like really separated you in the process, just doing a little bit of extra due diligence and research and saying, you know what, I want to work for this company, not just, hey, they have an open position, I'm going to apply. And additionally, a lot of folks get discouraged and they see that on every position. And everyone starts entry level in tech. No one's just coming in, starting out leader, whatever. You got to start your way at the bottom of the totem pole. That's where I started a few years ago as well. And you got to work your way up. And that's why sales is so beautiful, is because you control your destiny based on your performance. You just got to get that first shot. And most people never even get that opportunity because they don't have the degree requirement or the experience. And they see that on the requirements. And then they're like, I just can't even apply. I don't even have a chance. Therefore, I'll work at Chipotle as a line cook my entire life, which is fine. But it's hard to get ahead doing that. How did you, and to your point earlier, Caleb, the free intro course, I did remake it, and it's superb. We talk about why tech sales, what you're doing, how to actually get started. We're going to link it below for anyone that wants to check it out because you mentioned that was beneficial in helping you decide, hey, CourseCareers is a great alternative for me to learn the information. I think a question a lot of people have is, how do I identify companies to work for? I see comments every day. People are like, hey, what company should I work for? So how did you do the research? How did you identify these are maybe 2-3 companies that I would actually want to work for?
Yeah, so, before you even do research, the first thing you have to understand is yourself, what kind of company do you actually want to work for? You know, some people care about the product they're selling. Some people care about the size of the company. Some people care about learning more about the people who they think they might be working under. You know, everyone has different preferences. For me, I wanted to work for a company that had a great training program, so that way I could really build a good foundation that I can carry on for the rest of my life on top of CourseCareers. So for that reason, I was looking for slightly more well-established companies, not startups. But I also really cared about finding a product that I thought fit where the economy's at, like what companies are currently looking for in terms of software, or that I had a personal passion towards. So, I mean, the simplest thing, and CourseCareers goes into more depth on this, on how to research companies. The simplest thing you can do is whenever you see a job posting, you read through it, actually read it, see if you're interested, and then look at the company on LinkedIn, usually if that's where you're applying. Look at some people, look through their bio, maybe even I would recommend reaching out to them, not to get an interview, to talk to them about the role, to talk to them about the company. Because if you just come out and say, oh, I want an interview, they're like, okay, there's like 20 other people in my inbox reaching out for an interview. But if you say, hey, I want to learn more about your company, I want to learn more about this specific thing, then they think, okay, this person genuinely wants to work for this company. They didn't just, because I'll tell you, I mean, plenty of people who even send those messages or reach out, it's like a stock 2-sentence message. People. I mean, I don't know if you've gotten that before, but
oh, every day, man. You can tell instantly. You can, because the interesting thing is, me as a sales guy, sometimes I'm lazy, I'm human, I'll send just generic messaging, and I know I shouldn't be, but I'm too lazy to put more thought into it in that moment, which is on me. But I'll get messages from recruiters or people trying to recruit me or sell me something, and just like, I have a spidey sense for these things, but I also could just tell them, like, you know what, that's just copy paste. So to your point, people see through that. Everyone sees through it.
They typed in account executive in LinkedIn, and then they sent a message, and it says, hi, name, and they put your name there. I see you're looking for this. So actually reaching out to them out of genuine interest, you are way more likely to get a reply, because yes, people are busy, but look, your job as a sales development rep, and probably as an account executive, is to catch the attention of people who are very busy and read a lot of emails, answer a lot of phone calls. And the key to that is being genuine, genuinely wanting to help them, or genuinely wanting to work for that company that you're applying to.
It's in the details. It's in the details, like you said, and you may not have otherwise known that small change in approach without the specialized information. So, Caleb, for those folks that are still with us listening, that are thinking about changing the entire trajectory of their lives like you did, going from, hey, I don't really want to do this degree in college or even necessarily be here. I like Chipotle, but I don't want to work here my whole life. I want to go there and people make the food for me. I don't want to be there all day making the food for other people. And it's just a complete 180 in maybe the goals and what you want as a person. So for that person out there that's considering that change of their life and tech sales being that opportunity vehicle, and deciding, well, okay, how do I learn about tech sales? How do I get started? CourseCareers is of course, one of the most viable options out there. Mm-hmm. So what would you say to somebody that's considering, is it worth the $500 or the $450 if I can find a discount code? Mm-hmm. Is it worth it? Well, I mean,
yeah, it's worth it to me. I mean, I'm not going to give the exact number that I'll be making, but I think I'm going to be making back the amount I put in like 2.5 days on the job. Yeah. So, I mean, and look, I'll mention this too. It took me, I put like between the books and the course, I put in $500. A month in the course, took a week to myself to reflect on what I really want to be, what kind of jobs I really want to be looking for. And then I started applying. Immediately, I get the news, oh, there's a Salesforce layoffs, there's Microsoft layoffs, and this is going to be a really tough time. It took me 3 weeks to get a job. I got like 2 interviews, both of them gave me an offer. And I don't even have experience. I have CourseCareers and I have restaurant experience. So I would say that, if you go for it, if you really put the work in, and you listen to what's in the course, you will get a job and it will be worth it. as long as you think tech sales is the right thing for you, then it will be worth it.
How important is that focus? Because I see that a lot. People are like, "Oh, I'm distracted. I'm focusing on all these external things, layoffs, like economy, whatever." It's like companies still need to make money, and they need salespeople like you and I to make them that money. They're still going to be hiring for salespeople. I mean, some companies will be doing hiring freezes, but a lot of other companies, when companies are going down, other companies are going up. So you were able to ignore the noise. How are you able to do that? Because I think there's a lot of people out there that are distracted right now.
Yeah, it was tough, and I'm not going to lie, that first week applying was when, the first week applying, like second day is when I got all this stuff in the news of all the layoffs coming around the same time. That did I think lower my morale that first week, but over the weekend I just did some reflection. I thought, look, there's still, I mean, honestly, first off, there's inside you have to say, okay, am I actually valuable to this company? Do I actually have the skills? And second, if you just look on LinkedIn, even with all that in the news, there's like 127,000 openings. Like there's still companies hiring.
Yeah.
Just maybe Oracle's not hiring, or maybe some other company that you really want to work for isn't hiring at the moment. But there's always opportunities out there. And honestly, if you're put down by the fact that you're having a hard time getting a job because of the economy, how do you think salespeople feel who are trying to convince a company during an economic downturn to put a large investment, pay for a very expensive sometimes software product and help them understand this will be valuable to you? That's going to be your job. So you have to know how to push through economic downturns and how to reframe the discussion around whether to hire you or whether to buy this product in terms of that current market. So yeah, look, it's out there. I mean, you can't get a job at Salesforce right now. Maybe you can, but that doesn't mean that there's not other opportunities out there. And just like you said, when some companies are shooting down, others are shooting up. Both of the interviews I had, they were hiring like 10 people, a bunch, and these are for like small companies. They're like doubling the size of their sales force. So, I mean, yeah, you're right. There's always opportunity out there. You just have to keep applying, keep finding places that you genuinely are interested in working for.
The same skill set you use to find success in the sales job is the identical skill set you will use to sell yourself to get hired in the sales job. So it's an important point you bring up. In the final minute here, Caleb, what are you most excited about for your upcoming job? I know you're starting in the next week or so. You're taking some time this weekend to hang out with the boys. What are you most excited about starting the new job?
Most excited about, I mean, there's a lot of things I'm excited about. I'm obviously excited to, first week is all training, and then the second week we start hitting the phones and the emails and all that.
Yeah, here we go.
The little things, honestly, not coming home drenched in sweat from working at the restaurant. It's hard work, but when I'm done, I'll actually be able to, live a good life outside of it. I'll make good money, good opportunity. I think the biggest thing to me is first week, I can immediately prove myself and immediately get benefits out of proving myself to the people at the company, because they are actively looking for, people to coach, to work with, and to move up. So I'm so excited I have this role, but if I can prove myself and I can work hard in a few months, I mean, sky's the limit in terms of the opportunity. So
I'm stoked for you, man.
Yeah.
Everyone, I'm going to put a link to Caleb's LinkedIn down below, so go reach out to him, go connect with him if you have any questions about his story, his experience, because clearly it's possible to say, I'm going to change the entire trajectory of my life with tech sales. If you are interested in learning more about CourseCareers and beginning the free introductory course, it will also be linked below. It's completely for free, and I highly encourage you to check it out so you can even decide, hey, is this even a good fit for me? And maybe it's not, and you can just move on to the next thing. So everyone, thanks for watching. Comment what is your favorite color, Caleb?
Blue.
Comment the wave emoji, like the wave emoji down below, so to prove to those of us who are still watching and committed to their success. Have a great rest of your day, everyone. Bye.
Bye.